All right, next question up. So the problem says, what is the mean weight? And I know I say this a lot, but I'm going to say it again and again and again. We always want to read the question first when it comes to word problems, and this is a word problem. What is the mean weight? The advantage that this gives us, as always, is avoiding getting overwhelmed by all of these numbers over here and their decimals nonetheless, right? So we really need to be careful here because, hey, this could take a while if we get hung up. So to calculate the mean, we're going to get the total and divide by the number of numbers. So the total is adding up all the numbers, and then we'll divide by the number of numbers. So let's get ourselves a quick win. How many numbers are there here? How many numbers are we dealing with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 numbers that we're dealing with. Cool, perfect. So that's my first win. Dividing by 9. That's good, but that makes me realize, oh man, I'm adding 9 decimals together. So if we're being timed here, we're definitely pressed. We have to get to it. So we have 2.4, 3.1, and 2.9. And I'll do them over here. Then I'll actually do these in threes. So those are the first 3. I'll do the next 3 over here, 3.5, 2.8, 3.2, just to make it manageable. So 1, 2, 3 again. And now we have 3, 2.7, and 3.3. So that's just one way that I would handle it. And I'll actually double back at the end to show you a different way that I would have calculated this as well, noticing conveniences inside of this list. So nonetheless, let's get to it. We have 4, 1, and 9, and that will give us 14, and we'll carry that 1. Then we have 2, 3, that's 5, then 7, and that's going to be 8. We have ourselves 8.4. Then from there, let's continue over here, and we have 5 plus 8 plus 2, and that's going to be 15. We'll carry the 1, and then we have 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 3 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Then up next, 0 plus 7 plus 3, that's 10. Carry the 1. 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 3 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So we have these 3 values. So now we just have to add these one more time. So let's just grab all of these, add them up. 8.4, 9.5, and 9.0. We'll have 9 at the end there. And then we have 8 plus 9 plus 9. So I can just consider that 18 over here. Then 18 plus 8 is 26. So we finally have that total. So we have 26.9. And then from here, we'll just divide. And so let's go ahead and get to it first by making a little more room over here. So right there, let's move that over. And let's divide. So we have 9 going into 26.9. And I'll place that decimal right above it. And let's get into it. Again, one step at a time. So what we'll do is we'll go 9 into 2. Well, it can't. So 9 goes into 26. And that'll be twice. Not 3, but 2. Because 3 would be 27. And we're not quite there. So we have 2 times 9 is 18. And that's what we'll subtract. 26 minus 18 is 8. And then we'll drop that 9 right there. So from here, we have 9 going into 89. And that is going to be 9. 9 times 9 is 81. So we'll write that there, subtract the 81, and then we have 8 left over. We have an imaginary 0 right over here that we're going to drop down and keep going with. So here, that's going to be 80. My party people, 9 goes into 80 how many times? Not 9, but that's going to be 8. Because 8 times 9 is 72. 9 times 9 is 81. So we're not quite there. So when you do this, you're going to have yourself 8 left over again. And this is where we get the difference between answer choices A and B. This is where we get to the difference between them. Because if we keep going with another 0 here, look at what happens. My party people, How many times does 9 go into 80? We just answered that, and that's going to be 8. So we'll place that 8 right there. And when we take a look at our answer choices, everybody, how many decimal places are these answers? 2 decimal places between A and B. So when we take a look at 2 decimal places, right over here, it seems to me that we would round up. If we want to continue, we would continue writing 8 forever. So that's why we're rounding up here. And so we would round up by taking this 8. Oh, that's bigger than 5. That's 5 or bigger. So that means we round up. This value here goes up by 1 value, giving us 2.99. And that's why the correct answer to this problem here is answer choice B. So at the end of the division, we notice that the 8 is going to repeat forever. So that means that the 2.98 gets rounded up to 2.99. All right, so next problem up. First thing we do, as always, we're going to read that question first. So it says at 12 p.m., how far apart are the 2 hikers? All right, so primarily speaking, what we want here is, again, how far apart are these 2 hikers? So to get this done, I'm going to just understand the story a little more. Because it says, hiker A leaves Pine Camp at 6 a.m., averaging 3 miles per hour. Hiker B leaves at 9 a.m., averaging 4 miles per hour in the same direction. At 12 p.m., how far apart are the 2 hikers? So it looks like we got a couple of things going on. But we have hiker A and hiker B. And one thing I know about hiker A right over here is that hiker A is traveling at 3 miles an hour. So I'll write my rate here equals 3 miles per hour. And then we see over here hiker B leaves at this time but travels at this speed, 4 miles per hour. So I'll go ahead and write that down as well. So now that we have those 2 rates, it's time to determine the time for each of these hikers. And then from there, what's really important is, well, what do we do with those distances once we actually calculate them individually? What are we going to do once we actually have those individual distances? And that's going to be given away right over here. Same direction. When we have objects that are moving in the same direction, what we must do to get how far apart they actually are, what we must do is we must cancel out where they actually overlap. And that is going to look like subtraction. So all we need for this is to figure out the time that each is traveling for. And so when we see that we are measuring at 12 p.m., hiker A starts at 6. From 6 a.m. to noon, that's going to be 6 hours. So I'll go ahead and write 6 hours over here. And then when we think about for hiker B, 9 a.m. to noon, that's going to be 3 hours. So now that we have the rate and the time for each of these individuals, we can calculate those distances, which distance here equals 3 times 6, and that's going to be 18 miles. Then for hiker B, we have that distance being 4 times 3, and that'll be 12 miles. So now that we have those distances individually, we'll subtract to get that final distance apart. So that'll be 18 minus 12, and that'll give us 6 miles. And there we are. Our correct final answer, my party people, is going to be C, 6 miles.